Game 1 of the World Chess Championship, 1929, versus Alekhine versus Bogoljubov. Alexander Alekhine is white, Bogoljubov is black. This is the Queen's Gambit decline. This is the Slav. So in the Slav, white gives up a pawn. See a pawn? For the center. E4. It's a very dangerous variation. White has a full center, black has a pawn, and this bishop could take it. But the point of the push of the pawn is to prevent this pawn here. And if the pawn takes, knight will take, and white will be up material, and this has a full center. But obviously you cannot take it because of this pawn. The idea. Take the center. So white takes the center. Bishop to b4. Now this pawn is being attacked by the knight and the bishop. E5 to need a knight. Knight d4. Bishop d2. Bishop takes c3. A very not so new at that time. Not so known at that time, taking the knight with the bishop. An idea is if bishop takes, then knight takes. It'd be pretty nice for black, and he can get his knight to d5 again to blockade, or he can even leave this bishop doing nothing over here. So white decides to take with the pawn. And d5. So the gambit for white is he's giving up a pawn, one pawn, and now black keeps the pawn, but he will be very slow in the development of his pieces, namely these pieces, as we'll see in the game. So now white takes control of the game and plays knight g5 with initiative. Queen h4, hitting f7. Now, so if white castle and black castles, then many stuff is going to happen over here. So, knight g5. Now black makes a mistake, f6. But after pawn takes f6, knight takes f6. You find the spot to move for white. The move is bishop e2. You want to get on the long diagonal over here. And maybe some sacrifices will be possible if the knight moves. But in knight moves, we have check. If he blocks, we can take here and win the rook. These are some variations. So a6. Another point of this move was that white was threatening to take, and then this pawn would be weak. Black would have to defend it, and then we could bring our queen over there. But the main point of this idea is to get on this diagonal, namely this one, this diagonal, this weak pawn. So a6, defending the queen side, bishop f3. Now, black makes another mistake, playing h6, weakening the light squares. And this is just game over. After bishop h5, knight takes, check to the king, king d7, knight f7. Looks like there's a fork on the two pieces, so black has queen e8. One move, and if you take this, then you lose your queen. So you do have check, but in this position, just play queen g6, and now once you take here, we're defending your queen. So queen g6 is played, and basically game over. With g8, bishop f4, a few more moves are played. But this position has basically lost the king. Not castled. These pieces never moved. These rooks could get in the game easily with the open B and A file. Bishop B7, trying to hold on. Bishop G3. King B7. Bishop D6. King D7. Castles. Now f4, f5 is an idea. c5. Now black gets his play a bit too late, as first of all, you can take the pawn for free. But black tried to open up the bishop. It didn't really work. c5, he takes c5. Now rook d1 is an idea. Bishop d5. Close the B file, but then white has a nice combination if you would like to try to find a combination. So white played A takes B. And what happens after A takes B? Rook takes. After bishop takes, rook A1, attacking the bishop, and the bishop can't really move anywhere without the rook infiltrating on the 7th ring. So, knight c6, defending the bishop from the queen. And now the last move of the game, knight e5 check, and black resigned. So an amazing victory for Alekhine. It's white using a novelty at the time, playing the Slav and playing e4, turning the pawn into the variation to a gambit. Because the reason is because after knight takes e5, good old spot, rook a7, and the game will be lost. Go here, and this is mate.